That's a beautiful start for this little introduction to the youngest team of the Consciousness Studies program. As we have today, this program is almost 25 years old, and it's good to see many people who are less than 25 sitting here. And that was a beautiful song by Meera, taking our memory back to shores and flutes and everything which is subtle in life. Well, if we have a little conversation on what is one question which you would like to pursue for your research or in general, in one or two sentences, I wish to know what is that which attracts us, what is that which entices us to look beyond and to see that mysterious secret place and find the answers, if at all there is an answer. So, what is that one question? It can be two questions as well, but then if you have to briefly say what attracts you, because consciousness is very multifaceted, right? It has various angles of mysteries surrounding it. Some mysteries are solvable, some mysteries are not solvable. So I'm sure we all have at least something in our mind which we want to either see which can be solved, or we know that it may not be solvable very soon, but then we want to explore it. So that's what I wanted to know. Niharika.
Every subject answers questions of what and how, where my larger question in life is why. Why causality is happening, why consciousness is playing the role that it is playing. So coming to NIAS and working under Sangeetha ma'am, it's actually a dream come true because I never imagined this, and she's actually helping me with the same vigor that I have for the question why, because she also has that. So it's more of intellectual discussions, and we are trying to reach on a conclusion for this why question that I'm obsessed with in my mind.
Do you have a why question, Hari?
Yeah, I have a why question. So the question that I am more interested in, like the causal structures and learning in intelligent machines.
Yeah.
So this is what I am more interested in. So we see today. So take the case of any child. So take any case of any child. There is a kind of a causal relationship the child is able to bring out naturally.
Yeah.
So what about a machine? Can a machine have a causal inference, causal learning? Is it possible? So that is what I am interested in and be pursuing as part of my research.
So is everything or most of what we inquire in life can come under causal structures, or is there something which is beyond causal structure?
For me personally, the journey which started with the why question has had much to do with a concept of oneness that I had experienced with, let's say, my God. For me, my God is Krishna, and I have always been, like my name rightly suggests, a lover, a friend, and all of that to my Lord. So in that sense, I think maybe to some extent science can answer the questions of causality and that one leads to another. But then for me, there are also things that are largely unexplainable. And I think it is also part of the beauty of life that some things remain unsaid. Like Keats would say that heard melodies are sweet and those unheard are sweeter.
Do you hear any unheard melodies in your world? Particularly, did you hear anything in Assam?
Yes. During my field work, I have come through a song during the medical practices. So it's a very beautiful song, but sometimes it's horrible also due to the attires and all this we used to wear and the way of performing of them. So it's unheard melodies, but it's very beautiful and audible too.
Okay. Yeah. I guess we all have something which we want to find, and we also know that certain things may not be very much open to finding. But then we continue our inquiry. I think the whole field of consciousness studies is like that today. We have several questions which have been asked, but then every time the answer has to be sophisticated in a certain manner, or will have to be nuanced in a certain manner, so that we integrate a few more other ideas or perspectives that have come to the forefront. And so it's a very interdisciplinary area as well. So I was wondering whether you wanted to ask me something about the questions which did you wanted to ask me something?
What do you think about consciousness? How did you got into this program? What was the first thought when you heard the word consciousness?
Yeah, the first thought when I heard the word consciousness, I think it was more than a thought, it was an experience, so it was excitement, I would think. The thought came later, because I think I heard this word many, many years back, and that changed my life, I should say. I was very fascinated by this whole idea of exploring something which is not open to available mechanisms and theories and ways of apprehending, etc. So my first thought is how to approach it, and but then I would also think that from the very beginning, I have an intuitive feeling that we need to have as many different perspectives as we can have, because this is like you go somewhere and you have this very overwhelming view. You cannot just see it from one vantage and say that I have seen it. So the best view would be have a best coverage, so which means look at it from various angles and then compare the angles. So that's, I think on a detail I will talk to you later another day. Since that may take a long time.
Yeah. PD is always confused by our discussions on consciousness, and he seems to be confused from the starting to the end.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to comment on it?
Yeah,
I understood here that it's okay to be confused.
Oh, okay.
Which is very nice. I mean, consciousness is very involuntary process which nobody pays attention to. But coming here, I realized it is, without that there's no individual.
Yeah.
Without that there's no personality. Without that there's no humanity.
Correct, yeah.
So, when you are told that what you are going through is also right and it is not wrong, is when it encourages you to dwell in deeper and understand better.
Yeah, because there's also one field where psychology and philosophy comes together and tries to embrace each one of our identities, perceptions about life, the way we are, and to first say that it's okay to have this particular experience, or it's okay to view in a particular manner, because this is an inquiry where we are let free, but of course we have questions at each point to restrict us, limit us, and to see still we are traveling okay, we are not losing the route. So I would think one fascinating quality about consciousness studies is this interdisciplinarity, where very many different disciplines come. Amrutha, you want to talk about something, perhaps, what renders the aesthetic quality of how Meera started this conversation?
Starting with, I was also amazed how she sang. Everybody clapped and everybody enjoyed her performance. So it begins with a question why do we enjoy a performance, and how what are the qualities that we like in her performance? And every individual it varies, but there is some quality that we all enjoy. So I'll be exploring more the different elements that we all like in her performance. Although in performance is subject to research.
So how much of this is conditioned by culture? So what is the role of culture in defining our inquiry? Is everything a product of culture?
Yes, we are the product of culture.
Okay.
And not separate from culture, I think. in consciousness studies, I would like to know about is to help ourselves to understand ourselves better, or our control is possible to control our thinking, and how consciousness studies help us to understand ourselves is my biggest question.
Okay.
And is given the meaning of life.
Right.
That's I want to.
Yeah, I think that's a very important question. There are two words which are my own favorites, which is meaning and purpose. So on one side, consciousness can take you to very, according to me, my point of view, very abstract entities or very high-flown ideas. The other is to discover meaning and purpose in very many small ways and unnoticed spaces and people. But you have done a lot of work in the tribal areas of Kerala. What quality of experience what fascinated you, which you saw in our friends who find forests as their home?
Actually, coming from a very different background of monks, then after my MPhil, I wanted to pursue when I started reading about the tribal communities, I wanted to do something about the life and all. That is why I wanted to research among all the and that is it is from a very interdisciplinary field. I pursue my PhD. Then after that, I've been working more or less kind of economics field, but I was not at all satisfied. Then I was actually searching that what I can do to continue my own area of research. Then I at last I came here. Now I'm thinking that will I can actually do something and learn more, and I can actually somewhat fulfill my dream and know about the life more and culture more and do something for them. That is what I think.
It's really, because sometimes we tend to concentrate less the peripheries, but the peripheries is what gives meaning for what is in the mainstream and in the center. So does this all make any sense to you, Pushpa? Do you think we can make documents, documentations, narratives out of all this very varied? Because you are the project assistant for the Consciousness Studies program. What is your experience in working with NIAS? What do you think about the environment of NIAS?
First of all, I would like very much for working with NIAS for this project. Under different types of people and different types of background. So I want to learn something consciousness study program.
Okay.
So I want to learn.
Okay. All right. So I think we can conclude this, and it looks like enjoyment is one of the key words. And so either people want to learn something and then be very joyful, or we want to find something which is unknown and then we want to be joyful. We want to include more people in the periphery, and So I guess we started this conversation with a piece of joy from Gita Govinda Ashtabadi, and I think the future of consciousness studies is also going to travel the path of joy, because this is one area where discoveries are not going to make you bored, but it is going to open up completely new vistas for us, and definitely unknown spaces opening up means a lot of joy for all of us. Thank you.